This paper slideshow will teach you all about feudalism, knights, the life of peasants, and more. Let's begin, shall we? Weakening of central government caused a new form of government called feudalism. Developed in Western Europe, feudalism was a highly decentralized type of government that was made of alliances of equal protection between monarchs and nobles varying in power. This system was based on giving land for loyalty and military aid. Feudalism spread through all of Western Europe by the AD mid-1000s. The military service and land ownership formed ties in AD 700s. Not to mention, Charles Martel fought all the Muslims and granted warrior estates with peasants, also known as fiefs. Not to mention, the kings enlarged the system and the fiefs to counts, not to otherwise considered as local officials. In the 900s, arrangements by nobles and monarchs came out from feudalism. It's like a pyramid with the king at the top, lord under him, then the vassal, then the knight, and so on. Ties between a lord and vassal were made official in a solemn ceremony known as homage. In return for a fief, a vassal would pledge to perform certain duties, mainly military service. Because of no strong government, warfare happened a lot. To protect themselves, nobles had a castle built. Most castles were built on hills, deep moats surrounding it. Castles were filled with halls, many rooms, dungeons, barracks, and storerooms. Nobles had easier lives, but they weren't exactly glamorous or luxurious. They would usually live in castles built for protection, not comfort, so they were dingy and damp. Noble women had very few rights. They took pride in embroidery, took care of the house, also was very good at medicine. When the husband was at war, the woman would take over the duties at war. Nobles looked forward to mock battles between knights, not to mention tournaments. They also enjoyed hunting, and both men and women learned the art of falconry and archery. In nobles' castles, guests were entertained by minstrels, not to mention singers. Noblemen's sons began training at age 7, and when they were age 15, they became squires, where they practiced using weapons. After proving himself in battle, he became a knight in an elaborate ceremony. After this, the knight's life based around the code of chivalry, which told him to defend the church, treat women with respect, keep promises, and so on. Europe centered around a system of agricultural protection called manualism. It provides protection and food for peasants as long as they work for the level above them, and those people work for the people above them, etc. Manors and estates vary from 700 to 700,000 acres long. The manors include the lord's house, pastures, field of crops, forest, a village, and a peasant. In return for food protection, the peasants provided various services for the land. If the peasants collected grain on the lord's property, they were required to give some of this grain to the lord. If they baked in the lord's oven, they were required to leave a loaf for the lord. Warfare and invasions made trade almost impossible, so the manors had to force themselves to produce everything they needed. The manure system only produced barely enough food to support peasants and the lord's household, but over time, many improvements were made. One was the heavy plow that made soil better and quicker crops. Another was, instead of dividing plots of land into 2 fields, they split into 3 fields across the season. Peasant life was full of poverty and hunger. Few serfs lived above the age of 40. Many people lost their lives when enemy knights charged in and killed people, and burned and trampled crops. Despite hardships, peasants took breaks on Sundays and holy days, enjoying dancing, singing, archery, etc. Higher people, such as nobles, believed everyone's equal, making the government a little bit more balanced. Quick thanks to Bobby Beatty, the scribe, Tommy Lee, the director, the videographer Mohammed, editor, same thing, is illustrator Camden Connor, narrator, Tommy Lee, and everyone was laughing. We look forward to making another paper slide with you.